I think as creatives, sometimes we get so sucked into this habit of always, trying to get the next gear, trying to buy the newest thing that is in time, always like using money to, buy something new. In 2024, I definitely did buy myself some gear. I bought myself a couple stuff that I knew that I needed it in my work because the way a manner that my work was going and some of the works that were coming in, I needed to upgrade certain things. I needed to probably also buy new stuff. The works that I was starting to do in 2024, I started to realize that if I kept using some of the stuff that I was using, it was going to be a problem. And then some things and then some stuff and some gear that I was using definitely did need upgrading. So in this video, I'm just going to walk you guys through some of the gear and then some of the stuff that I bought this year. And then I'm going to do my best to explain the reasons behind and why I went and bought those stuff. So when I go through the list and some of the stuff that I bought in 2024, I mean, even looking at some of the prices and looking at the amount of money that I spent in 2024, I'm even shocked because I thought that I bought a lot of stuff, but I was able to keep it under a certain minimum because when I checked the number of works that I was able to do and then the number of money that was coming in and then looking at the stuff that I bought, I think I was able to, I did spend wisely. I didn't go overboard. In 2024, I think one thing from the beginning of the year, I didn't do a lot of photography works in 2024. Although, yes, I think most of my money that I made in 2024 did come from photography. I think about 90% of the works that I did in 2024 were from photography. But it's so funny that I also didn't do a lot of photography works, right? Because in 2024, I was getting a lot of video works and I was getting opportunities to shoot a lot of video stuff. So I shot a lot of podcasts in 2024. Most of it, I was not getting paid from it. So I shot a lot of podcasts. I started even my own podcast. Like my direction and then the works that I was creating in 2024 were shifting more and more into the video work, which made me buy a lot of stuff. I think in the beginning of the year, when I had opportunity to shoot podcasts for a church and then doing all that, I remember that I needed to get lav mics. So even one of those mics, the lapels is one that I'm even using right now. So I got myself a lav mic. I think that was the first thing that I bought from Amazon. I think I bought it for, $27.99. I bought a lav mic. I also bought an Aputure lantern. I think I have it somewhere here. Let me show you. Yeah, I bought this. I bought this Aputure lantern because I was shooting a podcast. Yeah, here is it. I already had it set up. I was doing a shoot. Yeah. So I bought an Aputure lantern. I think I bought it for $130 because I needed it to shoot podcasts because all my diffusers were softbox, which were kind of like directional lights. And then I needed to find a way to light the subjects. I think I had some of the podcasts that I was shooting. Some of them were like 3 people, some of them were like 4 people, and then I needed to find a lantern, and the lantern was a perfect fit for me. I think I'll probably do a video on it on how to use lanterns to light people and stuff. And then because I was doing that, I think I broke mine. I was using I had a very old tripod that I was using that, the release plate, I broke it. So that one too, I spent $16 to buy myself a new one. And then I also realized that when I was shooting those podcasts, I needed more lights. Like I needed I needed tube lights and I needed other lights that I could use. So I bought myself an Ulanzi light, the tube light that Ulanzi uses. I bought one of them. I think I bought it for $46. Even I use it I think I've used it like once or twice because I realized that when I bought those lights, they are not able to last, right? I think when I'm using it at full power, I think it lasts like probably like 20 minutes. So I had to, ditch it because, this is what happens when you buy cheap stuff, right? So I bought the Ulanzi light for $46. But I ended up not really using it as much. Right now, I don't even remember the last time that I bought it. I bought it in the beginning of 2024, and I've not even used it again. Then I got myself some SanDisk memory because I was shooting a lot of content, a lot of podcasts, so I needed more SD cards. So I spent $36 on an SD card. I bought myself a 128 gig. I had more SD cards, but I wanted to, buy one more. So I bought myself a SanDisk SD card for $36. I bought a laptop stand for $26. I bought a monitor stand, and then I also bought what do you call it? I bought a monitor stand for my setup. So I will even show you guys a video of my home studio setup that I'm currently using because, and I wanted to, pretty much change stuff up. So I had, there's a way that I've mounted my monitor. So that monitor mount, I bought it for $40. I bought my laptop stand for $26. And I also bought a studio monitor stand, right? So because I was doing podcasts, one thing that I started to realize was I needed a studio monitor because I was doing more video work, and then the audio, I wanted to make sure that I was getting the best audio as possible, right? Because using headphones, the headphones that I had was good, but I wanted to be able to, play it out and then let's be able to listen to the audio that was coming up, the works that I was doing. I needed to have better audio. So the best thing for me was to invest in studio monitors. Right, so I'll get there. So I think in that whole setup, I bought a laptop stand, I bought a monitor stand, I bought a studio monitor stand, and I think I bought myself a Yamaha. Yeah, I bought myself a Yamaha H5 studio monitors. I bought 2 of them. I think I'm still paying for them. I think I should be done paying for them in April. I bought that Yamaha studio monitor. I bought it for I think $600 from Henry's. From Long and McQuaid in Canada over here, right? So I bought that one for $600 because I needed to have a whole setup where it was very good for me to be able to hear the audio. And with that whole setup comes with a whole different thing because I needed mounts to be able to mount the monitors. I needed laptop stands. I needed to mount the monitor. I needed to do all those. So I bought those Yamaha H5 studio monitors for $600. Then because I was using I bought the Ulanzi, and I realized that the Ulanzi was not working because I really did go for a very cheap light. I had to get myself the newer one, right, which is the light that I think I'm currently using to light the background over here. So I bought myself a newer one. I bought that one for $128, right? I spent $128 on that newer light, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's really working for me. It's doing the job for me. I'm able to create some stunning work with it. Like the light really holds itself. I've been using it and it does really work. And then I had to also get myself some new V-mount battery. I do have a V-mount battery, but I realized that, okay, some of the works that I was creating, especially shooting long form podcast work that I was doing, I realized that sometimes my batteries were dying on me because sometimes I can be on a set for like 4 to 5 hours shooting podcasts. Because the podcast, one thing that I was doing with my clients was we will meet in a day and then we will shoot with like 1 month worth of content. So imagine that I can be on set for sometimes I can shoot content for like 5 hours because most of the podcasts one video is like 1 hour, sometimes I can go more. So imagine that shooting 4 weeks of content, that means 4 hours. You have to set up sometimes, the video will mess up and then all that. So I realized at that point I was using my Canon EOS R for video work. And then I also had my 6D Mark II. So I already had only one V-mount battery. So I realized, okay, I needed another V-mount battery for my 6D Mark II. So which made me buy the newer V-mount battery. I think I bought it for $139 for that one. And then as you can see, sometimes when you're working, other stuff come in. I had to buy myself a mini HDMI cable to connect my camera to my monitor because I broke mine. So I was using an EOS R, so I broke mine. I bought one for $12.97. So with the podcast work going on and everything, I was like, okay, cool. I already have this lav mic. I have this Rode mic that I use which I use to, mic my clients when they are shooting podcasts or when we are doing video works. But it also got to a point where I realized that I needed more microphones. So I invested in the Shure M7 microphone. I bought only one of it, right? I bought only one because I wanted to test it out first and see first, because if I want to go buy more podcast microphones, I would buy more podcast microphones. So I bought that Shure M7 mic for $239. And I added it to my setup for, the podcast. But I mean, if you're buying that Shure mic, that means you also need to buy cables, which made me also buy an SLR cable for $17. So I also bought an SLR cable for $17 on that side too. Damn, I really did buy a lot of stuff. And then I also broke my monitor holder. When sometimes when you are mounting your monitor, you mount it on the camera. So that monitor holder thing, I broke it. I broke mine, so I had to buy a better one. The one that I bought initially, actually, I didn't buy one. My monitor that I used on my camera came with one. So I had to, it broke and I had to get a new one. So I bought a monitor holder for $39.99. Then one day I was shooting a video for, at an event, and then I had someone break my tripod. I was using my tripod. I had a heavy duty tripod, and then someone broke it. Right, and so I needed to get myself a new tripod to use because I'm shooting a lot of video works, and then I can't use those flimsy tripods. So I had to get myself a heavy duty tripod, which I bought for $160 from Amazon. Right, I bought that one from Amazon. And then I think this is the one thing that I bought from, this one thing I think I bought where I needed it for photography. So with my photography work and stuff, I realized that I wanted to start creating shapes and start doing other stuff with the works that I was creating, right? So once I realized that, I was like, okay, I realized I needed to get myself an optical snoot. So I bought myself a wall-making optical snoot. I think I have I'm using it. You see the window thingy that is currently at the back here? Yeah, I'm using that optical snoot to create those shapes, to be able to do that. So I bought a wall-making optical snoot for $260. I bought it for $260. And then I bought myself a matte box. Right, I'm currently using that matte box right now on my camera. So I bought myself a matte box. I bought that one for, I think, $91, $90. Yeah, I bought it for $91 because I needed a matte box for my video setup, because I was also doing shoots outside. Right, so I needed to buy the matte box. And then when I was also shooting more video stuff, it also came with the fact that then I also needed to get more hard drive space. So I had to also invest in getting a hard drive for only some of my video stuff that I was doing. So I bought myself a 4TB hard drive. Right, I bought myself a 4TB hard drive for $184. $184. And then I bought myself a mount bracket. Okay, so let me explain that one before I got that. So once I was doing more video stuff, I was shooting more content, especially I was shooting a lot of podcasts. I did shoot a lot of podcasts in 2024, right? But then I started to get into a problem where the camera that I was using, at that time I was using the Canon EOS R. Right, I was using the Canon EOS R, and then the problem with that camera was video, it can only shoot 30 minutes. It can only do 30 minutes of recording, and then after 30 minutes, you have to, press the record button again. And then most of the video works that I was shooting at that time, I was doing a lot of like long form videos that were like, especially on a podcast, it can go on for like 1 hour. So I was having a lot of problems with that, and it was at that time that I really realized that I might need to get myself a new camera, at least a camera that can shoot video continuously for more than an hour. Because the camera that I was currently using could only shoot for 30 minutes, and after 30 minutes, I have to press the record button again. Because sometimes like they are shooting, and then there are moments where, because I was using multiple cameras. I was having my EOS R, I was also having my 6D, and sometimes I would borrow a 6D from a friend. So I was using 3 cameras, and then those 3 cameras, they were all shooting 30 minutes. So imagine if we set them, we say action, everything they are talking, and then sometimes like within like 5 seconds, all the cameras are dead, and I have to like move back, press record here, move back here, press record here, move back here, press record here. And it was affecting my footage, and it was one thing that it was really bothering me, and I realized that I really needed to get myself a new camera, especially one that is very good with video. But I didn't want to just get any camera per se, because as I was shooting podcasts, I'm also someone that do narrative stuff, like do more short films and all those stuff. So I realized that I needed to also invest in a better camera. I needed to get a camera that could, do both works for me. I was really looking into getting the Canon R5C. That was the camera that I was really looking into. I was like, okay, cool. Let me go and get the R5C. But R5C at that time, I think it was almost close to $5,000, which was very expensive for me at that time, because I was doing a lot of video works, but the video works, the amount of money that I was getting in, and especially like you can see, some of the money were also pretty much going to buy gear and reinvesting back into the business. So I couldn't afford to spend $5,000 on the R5C. And then I was like, okay, I was really debating on it, and then I came across one DP. One DP, I probably will have him on the channel very soon. His name is Nate. He was like, oh, you could get a Zcam, and you can check the footage and everything, and Zcam even has better stuff. So, which led me to get this camera. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm literally shooting right now this video on the Zcam. I'm probably gonna do a full-on video on this camera. So I got myself the Zcam E2X6, right? The Zcam E2X6 is a Super 35 6K cinema camera, right? Super 35 6K cinema camera. It shoots, so these are some of the, I'll do a full video on it. It shoots 6K 60 frames per second, and then 4K 100 frames per second. It's a Super 35 CMOS sensor, and then it's having 14 stops dynamic range, because I realized that I didn't want to go buy another mirrorless camera. That was why I was going in more for the R5C, because R5C is also is a hybrid camera which shoots cinema. But when I came across the Zcam was like the perfect fit for me. It was like a good fit entry into cinema camera, right? So it shoots 6K, which was perfect. I can shoot long form. I do documentaries. I do short films and then all that. And then the images that I get from the Zcam is just perfect. So I had to reinvest. I have to invest and get myself the Zcam. So I got this Zcam. This one I got it used, right? I got it used from another DP over here. He's like, oh, he bought it, but he later upgraded it and got himself a red. And then he was not using it as much. So I think he used it like, he said he used it for like 3 months, and then he had to let it go. It was just sitting in his house because he was not using it. The guy that got it, he was more of a director than a DP. So he got it, but most of his work that he's doing, he's a director. And then the DPs that he works with, they always come with their camera. So that's why I think it comes with the box and everything. I'll do a deep dive video on the Zcam. So I invested in getting this Zcam E2S6. I got it for $2,000. I bought this camera for $2,000. And then Zcam is pretty much kind of like the Red, right? It comes with, it's only just the cube. It comes only that. So you have to pretty much build it up, which also then became another investment that I had to do. So I had to, luckily for me, when I bought the Zcam from the guy, it came with, he gave me some accessories. He gave me the cage that he bought. So I was lucky to have the cage, but I also had some other stuff that I had to buy on the stuff. So I had to buy myself a mount bracket, right? I also had to buy the mount bracket. I bought it for $53 because I had to put an SSD. The Zcam takes SSD, hard drives, right? So when I get it, I need to also find a place to, mount it on. So like, because of the way the Zcam is, you have to rig everything. So I bought the camera and I had to rig it. So I had to buy myself a mouse bracket for $53. I bought myself an SSD hard drive for $120. I bought myself a USB-C to USB-C cable for $20. I also bought a handle, because when I was shooting with the Zcam, when I rigged it, I realized that I also need a handle to be able to hold it. So I bought the handle for $53. I also bought myself a follow focus, right? Because the Zcam is a manual camera, it shoots manual. So I had to pull my own focus and everything. So I also had to invest in getting a follow focus for $91. And then in lenses, I invested in only 2 lenses this year. I bought these lenses before I got the Zcam, because I needed them for some of the video shoot. I spoiled my Canon 24 to 70 f2.8. I think I spoiled it in the beginning of the year, right? It hit something and then it got spoiled, and I was having problems, like, you know, I think I spoiled it in 2023, late 2023 during Christmas time. So I was having problems, you know, mounting. When you mount it on the camera, it was saying no lens and stuff. So I had to invest in getting myself a new lens, right? So I bought myself the Canon 24 to 105. I bought it used. I didn't buy brand new. I bought 25 105 f4 because I was shooting it. I needed it for mostly video works and stuff. So 24 to 105. I bought it for $500. And then I had to get myself, I think, one of the best video lenses that I've bought. I had to buy myself the Sigma 18 to 35. I bought myself the Sigma 18 to 35, which that one too, I bought it used. I think pretty much every lens that I've used, I always buy them used. I've never actually bought like a lens brand new. All my lenses that I use are used, right? So I bought myself a Sigma 18 to 35. I bought that one too for $500. So in total, I think probably, you know, I'll use the calculator to give you guys the total. When I was checking the total, I think I was getting close to almost $4,000. These are some of the stuff that I remember. I've checked my Amazon orders, and then I can see, and then when I looked around my house, these are the stuff that I can see that I spent money this year to get because I needed them, right? Most of the investment that I made this year, they all pretty much went into video stuff. Because like with photography, I don't really need a lot of stuff, right? I don't really need a lot of stuff with photography, but I invested a lot in videography because I think right now my client base, I'm getting a lot of video works coming in. I'm getting a lot of, like, you know, I'm shooting documentaries, I'm doing narrative short films, and I'm leaning more towards those stuff. I'll go into details, probably I'll do more video about things that I'm probably going to be up to and be doing mostly, and stuff that you guys are going to see mostly on this channel. But pretty much I think 2024 was a time for me to get the stuff that I needed to be able to shoot proper video content stuff that I needed. So most of the investment that I made, you know, I bought a cinema camera. I had to buy the Sigma 18 to 35, which is like very good lens for videos. I bought the aperture light. I bought so many stuff that I needed them to be able to go into my video and then be able to provide better quality video stuff for clients, and then also hopefully, you know, get more bookings on videos. Although pretty much when I check the stuff and then when I check my bookings, all the stuff that I bought, most of the money came from the photo shoots that I do, right? Most of the video works, most of them, some of the podcasts that I was shooting, I was not making a lot of money from it, as that some of them I was even shooting for free. I shot music videos. I shot some of them for free and then all that. Because I've been trying to, you know, build my videography craft and be very good with videos and stuff. Because right now, especially as we can all tell, like, the market is leaning more to videos. And then I also needed to get better stuff to shoot better video content, which made me invest this amount of money. So I invested this amount of money in 2024 to be able to get this stuff to shoot better videos. What are some of the stuff that I need in 2025? Now, looking at that, I definitely do need a lot of stuff. I'm not going to lie. It's like you said, once you get something new, you get another thing comes up. Once you get something new, another thing comes up. I think one thing I definitely need is shooting with a 6K camera, the cinema camera. I didn't even know that the file sizes are this big. So I definitely need to invest in a very big hard drive, because the SSD that I bought was 1 TB, and then I have a 4 TB hard drive, a 4 TB hard drive for videos. But it's like I'm shooting documentaries, I'm shooting so many stuff, and putting all those, I'm realizing that I need a bigger hard drive, maybe like a 10 TB or 16 TB hard drive. So it's something that hopefully maybe I can get money to buy, because I need more space to shoot that. Another thing that I think I need is I need a proper monitor, right? I think I use the Lilliput monitor, which is good, but I've realized that, I don't know, sometimes I can't tell whether the image is in focus or it's not in focus. And I really need to get a better monitor, one that, I can really see the image well, and I can really make things that I can, check, false color and all those. I'm thinking of getting myself the Atmos Ninja 5. I think last time I checked on Facebook Market, I can get some of them for like $600 or something. So I'm thinking of also getting that one, the Atmos Ninja 5. And I don't have the money to get it right now. I'm trying to slow down on my spending, because I spent most of my money last year. So I'm trying to hold off on the spending. Another thing that I think I really need right now for me is, I think I need an easy rig, that thing that they put on so that you can shoot handheld. I realized that the Zcam, when I rig it out, I already have it rigged. I don't even take it out. Because of the way it is, when I'm shooting with it, it becomes like very heavy. So getting that easy rig thingy, right? I was thinking of getting that sack and use it, but I think having that easy rig thing, whether I can mount it and then, shoot proper handheld. That one too is expensive. I think when I looked online, it goes, I think some of them goes like 500, 600, 700, like it just goes up. So I'm hoping to get an easy rig. I think it's something that if I come across like a project that can make me a lot of money, I think one of my first spending in 2025 is get that, because I was working on a project, I think 2 weeks ago, and I was shooting handheld, and then I realized that it was so heavy, so it was making it hard for me to properly do the work. And then the handle that I bought for my Zcam, I realized that when I hold it like this, sometimes when I want to press record, I have to take my hand out and press record. So I wish, if I get a chance to buy those handles that is also having the record button on it, right? If I could get a chance to buy one of those handles, I would really love to get myself on one of those handles so that I can just connect it, so I don't have to move my hand to, always come and press. I can just hold it and press record, and it can be easier for me. This is also not a necessity. There's this one thing that I would love to get, which is not a necessity, although it's getting closer and closer, because when I'm shooting video, especially when I'm recording myself on the Zcam, because it's a manual camera, I have a focus puller, but when you're using a focus puller to shoot, when you're shooting someone and you're pulling, that is different. But when you are trying to record yourself and then using a manual camera, it's so hard for me to, set the focus. Right now, this video, I've been going back and forth to try and see if I'm in focus, right? So I would love to probably get a monitor, like a wireless monitor connected to that one, and then also get a wireless follow focus. So especially when I'm doing my YouTube videos, I can literally just sit here and pull focus and make sure that everything is in focus, because I spent literally almost 25 minutes today going back and forth trying to pull focus, because I don't have anyone here and I'm literally the one setting up and doing everything. So if I could, how do I even put it? If I could get a wireless follow focus with even the Zcam, I don't even need a monitor. I can check on my phone and see the footage if it's in focus. So if I could get myself a wireless follow focus, I think it's going to be something that is going to help really, really, really help my work. And I think lastly, off head, one thing that I think I would love to go get is get myself a bigger source of light. I think right now, the biggest source of light that I have is this SmallRig 120. I think, is it the 120 bicolor? Is the one that I'm using right now, right? That is my biggest source of light, 120 watts, right? So if sometimes some of the projects that I've been shooting, I realize that damn, I need more power, right? The 120 works, it's good and everything, but it's sometimes when the projects that you are working on, some of the stuff that you are working on, when it's becoming bigger and bigger, then that means what? You need to get bigger sources of light. So If I could get myself, I think the JVM 600 watts light, if I could afford a 600 watts light, hopefully I would buy one, or maybe I'm already using a 120 watts light. So maybe even I multiply it and go into like a 300 watts light. At least I could do that. So I'm looking into probably getting either a 300 watts light, or if I have the money, going for a 600 watts light. Because right now, especially the podcasts and stuff that I've been shooting, I need more sources of power, and I really need to invest in getting like a bigger power output of light. So this is some of the stuff that I was able to get this year. Some of the stuff I definitely need to do a deep dive video on it to show you guys, about it, especially the Zcam. I think I need to do like a very big deep dive on it, why I got it, some of the projects that I will be shooting with it, and my reasons for getting the cinema camera. So thank you very much. My name is Kwame. Thank you very much. And then before we go, I want to just urge you guys to, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, let me know some of the stuff that you invested in 2024 and some of the stuff that you are looking to get in 2025. Thank you very much. Subscribe. My name is Kwame with KP Media Works, and stay tuned. This year we're going to be dropping a lot of videos, so stay tuned and hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.